So there is a lot of debate about when you should go from doing regular pull-ups to implementing weighted pull-ups. And I wanted to share my opinion on that. So weighted pull-ups and pull-ups, some people view them as very different things, but it's very similar to doing a bench press and adding a bit more weight on. Your body is the weight before, just your body weight, and then above that, let's say 60 kg, above that is the weighted attribute, right? So view it as the same exercise, and with any other exercise, it's not about, you know, just forcing yourself through it and just trying to get the weight up as quickly as you can and progressing week by week as quickly as you can. The focus you want to have is on the form. So the same advice I would give to someone doing a weighted weightlifting exercise is you're doing bench press, and you want to, before you go up, you want to make sure that form is perfect, right? You not perfect, but pretty much perfect, to the point where you're not going to cause any injuries or any imbalances if you went forward with the increase in weight, right? So it's virtually the same thing. The difference is, the very tiny difference is, when you add a weighted belt or a weight between your legs, your center of mass is going to go down slightly. But if you're using less than 20% of your body weight with the added weight, then that's negligible. Like, you're not going to have to think about that. So yeah, I wanted to demonstrate as well when it's actually suitable, what the technique looks like between when you doing the pull-up and when you want to progress. Like what should it look like before you progress is what I'm saying. So I'll quickly demonstrate, starting with regular pull-up. So scapular depression, pulling back, and slight scapular retraction. The form between people's pull-ups will differ, but generally it will look something like this, right? Just like that. So now I'll talk about rep ranges, right? So how many pull-ups of good form like that should you be able to do before you go forward? And there is no right answer to this. It really depends on what you're training. If you're training for endurance, you probably don't want to add weight yet. If your goal is to get to like 50 pull-ups, there's probably no point in doing that right now, like going into weighted, because weighted is more training for force production and total strength. If you can do 2 or 3 clean reps of them and your goal is absolute strength, it's probably not a bad idea to start dabbling with how weighted feels. So even, I will show you now, and I'm going to set it up. So getting a weighted belt, and even adding like 2.5 to 5 kg to begin with is not actually a bad idea, right? And it's a great way to see if that form from regular pull-ups is transferring to the weighted. So it took me a minute to set that up, but I'll show you now. Try and replicate the exact same form as what your regular pull-up look like. So slight scapular retraction, really focusing on getting them shoulder blades pushed down, them shoulders pushed down. And even if like you could only do like 2 reps of plus 2.5 kg or whatever weight, and you're training for strength, it's still probably a good idea to do that. Just because in the same way, it's a good idea if you're training for strength to increase the weight on the bench press. If you're going for maximum strength, start to feel it out, do a 1 rep max, you know, just really make sure that the form is clean, because I've in the past had a lot of problems with activation, scapular depression, over engaging like my shoulders and my biceps when in a pull-up, when it really predominantly it should be a mid-back movement and upper back movement. So yeah, I'll quickly demonstrate what, if your weighted pull-ups look like this, that you should scale it back. And even if your regular bodyweight pull-ups are like this, then you should scale back to an easier progression as well. Like banded or just doing negative pull-ups, right? So if it looks like this, you can see I'm like struggling to push my shoulders down. If you're trying to do weighted, or if you already are doing weight or pull-ups and it looks like that, then be more patient. Really dial in on the form of the regular pull-up, do banded variations, and train that scapular depression into your muscle memory. Scapular depression, just for reference, this is kind of like elevation, like what it kind of looked like there. Depression is down, retraction is also like that as well. If you want any personalized advice when it comes to weighted pull-ups and pull-ups, click the link in the comments or the description. It's basically a link to my free training. I'm getting into coaching. I've been training for a few years. I've got some experience now, and I'm looking to start my business, and there's no better way than giving some free coaching to some of my viewers, even if you're new. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped.